It is Thursday, May 23rd, 2019. Let's go over some technical analysis of the top moving altcoin markets on Binance over the last 24 hours. Today we're going to look at AST, DOC, TNT, and REQ. And I'd like to give a shout out to Matt Nordstorm for his bike antics here that are in the initial video. Now I'll kill the background music and let's take a look at the disclaimer. First of all, this isn't trading advice. This is just market observation where we go through the same indicators over and over and we get to see how they're telling us what might be happening in the price of these cryptocurrencies. Let's start off and take a look at AST. We're watching the chart of AST on the 15-minute time frame. Just the last couple days it's made these runs up really nice, really great percentage gains. And this was an alert in our trading alert package back here out of the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation when we saw this RSI diverging and the exponential moving averages crossing over. Everything was set up for an early entry for us, and now our strategy is to put our stop loss just above our entry and hang out. Let's see what the market's going to do over the next while. We see Bitcoin in the background is still looking like it's on an uptrend and ascending. So as Bitcoin is starting to make some moves out of these ranges, we'll take a closer look at what's going on with this price. So if we zoom back into the 15-minute bars, we can see we have 1, 2, 3 times higher and lower RSI. So I believe we're running out of a bit of steam here, and this may come back and retest our stop loss. We'll have to see how this plays out over the next few days. Let's zoom into some other indicators now at the same time frame on the 15-minute view. There's the 1 hour view, and we can see that the on balance volume is less on the second run up, which to me means it's running out of steam. Let's zoom into that 15-minute view, and sure enough, here we are with a bigger volume and less volume here. So that's the kind of indicator I'm looking for as it's running out of steam. And then again, of course, you know, our stop loss is set way back, and just hands off, let the market do its thing. We'll let the market tell us how correct we are for now. Here again, we'll zoom in on the AST, and we're looking at the MACD indicator. So we have lower highs in the MACD as we have sort of equivalent highs here. We do have a crossover and weakness and negative histogram all the way along here, which also supports a bearish kind of feeling from this spot right here. We'll have to watch it and see how this turns out, and tomorrow we'll come back and we'll look back at these indicators again to see what has changed. And finally, let's take a look at the Ichimoku cloud to see what's being told to us here. We can see a twist to the positive in this Ichimoku cloud. It is still above the cloud, which is still positive. And so this wouldn't suggest getting out of this trade until it comes back down below the Ichimoku cloud here. We're still seeing the blue line, which is the conversion line, above the baseline, which is the red line here in the Ichimoku cloud, which is still bullish. So this one is still holding on, where other things are showing that it's running out of steam. We'll see how this turns out in the next couple days. Next, we'll take a look at DOC, TNT, and then REQ. So here we are looking at the price of DOC, where we can see the alert that we had for our alerts package that was set out the other day. We can see the higher RSI, the double bottom, the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation setup, so that this was an early alert for this trade. We got in at a great price, and now the stop loss would move just above our entry to protect our initial money, and we'll sit back and wait to see what this market actually ends up doing. So now we'll zoom in and we'll observe this. By the way, if you are interested in these kind of alerts, be sure to head over to digitalcurrencytraders.com and check out our 7-day trial for $1. You really can't beat it. Let's head back now and take a look at DOC and zoom into the 3-month view. Let's zoom into the 1-week view so that we're getting in closer to the RSI to see what's going on with this move here. For me, it seems like it's just a normal breath of the market, and we'll step back and try not to be jumping in and out when it's whipping around like that. It's like trying to grab a fire hose after the water is running. Always good to get a good grip on it just before the water is running. This is a dangerous time to get in, but as it's pulling back to any of these consolidation areas, that wouldn't be a bad time to check it out. Let's zoom in now. I'm not seeing a divergence in the RSI that's telling me that it's lost power and is going to be crashing down from here and that it's at a fake out breakout. Instead, we're seeing higher lows on this consolidation, still some great volume coming in. So let's check out these other indicators. While our on balance volume is showing a blast off, really good anticipation to catch this, convert this divergence in these indicators and put this alert out. It's up a nice profit. Let's zoom in now. We can see that there's good volume. Good volume here, more volume here. That speaks well of prices continuing and not just crashing back down. Especially when we see that there's a little spike of volume and a bigger spike of volume turning up here. This is probably going to be an exciting market throughout the day today. Let's check out the MACD indicator. Sure, this was really giving us the same divergence and crossovers that we were seeing in the RSI. So now we've got these three that really do give us advanced notice about what's happening underneath this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. And there's a whole raft of other markets that are setting up that may be ready to take off right next. And they are identified in our alerts package. So go over there and check it out. Let's go see what's going on here on the Ichimoku cloud on the 1 month view, so that we're looking at the 240 minutes. We see that the cloud is twisted positive and it is way above the cloud. This has got lots of room to stay bullish for a bit here. If we zoom in and zoom in again, now we're getting into the range where we can see it's still a twisted positive cloud and the prices are above it. Bouncing off this cloud and coming up is a buy signal in an uptrend when we're using the Ichimoku cloud. Really great to see. Now let's take a look at the next market we're going to see. Let's go look at TNT. Here we are checking out the price chart of TNT over the last couple days. It's another chart that made a break of the downtrend line, a very small 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. And we can see the RSI was showing us this divergence as this bottom formation was shaping up. It wasn't a deep bottom formation, and I'm not sure what caused this price to take off, but it's this kind of pattern that we're looking for. And there's a raft of other markets setting up like this that haven't broken out yet. So we could be seeing that altcoins are going up along with Bitcoin. This is going to be a lot of fun as this unfolds. Let's zoom in a little bit on the time frame here so that we're checking out to see what's going on with the RSI as we're getting closer. 15-minute views still looking strong, and the RSI is not diverging negatively like it's running out of steam here and going to pull back right away. In fact, it seems to be supporting that this is the beginning of the volume coming in, and there could be a lot more coming on to this one. So here is on balance volume is beautiful, really blasted off. One of the questions I always have when I see these is what was happening with the on balance volume just before that big blast off? Was there an indicator that we could really see in this? And certainly not one jumping out at me as a big divergence until, I don't know, the news came out and away we've gone. Let's zoom in on this to the 1 week view. Still looking good. Okay, and it's just a few spots of really strong buying. It hasn't been the big swath of buying yet. There still appears that there's going to be a lot potential for a lot more here. Let's go and check the MACD indicator. And again, I want to pull this back to say, were you giving us? Sure, you were giving us a heads up. Here's the crossover. Here's the divergence from this bottom formation. So the RSI and the MACD indicator were giving us that indicator, that pre-announcement that something was coming here. It's not always reliable because you can see here that we had a divergence here, but nothing came of it. So here we have another divergence, and we have to just be prepared with, put in a small bit of your trade, take it off if you're wrong. Start it again, put a small bit of your trade, take it off if you're wrong. This is a difficult market. It didn't give me enough of a formation here to sink my teeth into to put out a trade alert on this one. Let's take a look at the Ichimoku cloud and see what's going on with this. Did this give us any advance warning that this was going to happen? No, the Ichimoku cloud isn't an advanced warning indicator. It is a proving indicator of what is actually happening now. And so as prices are breaking above the cloud, it's giving you the notice, but it's kind of late. Things really took off. So this one took preparation ahead of time that would have caught me off guard every time. It's not a pattern that I can be really prepared for. Now that it's moved, it wakes us up and we can pay attention to it and zoom in to see, is it consolidating enough to give us a place to jump into this market? For me, it's just observe right now. It hasn't got enough. I could put in $5 and see if it goes higher, then I would put my stop above it and hold it, but not a big market to jump in on right now. Even though it's doing this amazing move, it's certainly not a time for me to take action on it now. I'm going to look for other markets that are making this bottom formation that may be telling us what's coming. And our last coin, we'll go take a look at REQ. Here we're looking at REQ, and it is looking fantastic. Like many of the other altcoins, it's bottom on the 13th of May. Made a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation here on these 4-hour time frames. The exponential moving averages on the 60-40 time frame have crossed over. This one didn't give as strong an RSI divergence on this signal. So let's zoom into the other indicators and see what they were telling us. When we go into the on-balance volume, didn't seem to be giving pre-warning that there was much coming. There was as much dumping as there was buying. Even though it was making the 1, 2, 3, it really wasn't standing out that powerfully to me until the news came out or something. But now that it's made a move, we're going to watch for, there's always the 2 different ways to get into a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So we got the number 1 point here. Let me clear this off. Then I'll draw this in. We got the number 1 point. We got the number 2 point. We've got the number 3 point. Price is broken above the number 1, 2, 3. So there is a potential buy signal right there on that breakout. And every bot in the world knows about this trading pattern. It's a simple failed retest of a recent low or high. We can flip this around, and it works great for a top formation in Bitcoin as well. So this is making a 1, 2, 3. It's broken out. The other way that we could consider buying into this is there's so many fake out breakouts where they blast up and then they come back down, and the alts continue on their major trend. We want to avoid that. So one of the ways to buy into this is to purchase on the breakout. The other way is to let it come back and retest these levels, then buy on strength and filter out those ones that continue on the downtrend. You don't get into those ones. So there's our look at the on-balance volume, and it's really strong. If it pulls back and gives us a retest of this number 2 point, we certainly could consider adding or starting out a little trade in this to test it out. When we stop here and take a look at the MACD indicator, it was giving a divergence a long time before prices changed directions. And then it confirmed that divergence as prices were bottoming here, and we'd had these crossovers. These are really good confirmations here. So it's really taken off. There's lots of juice behind it here on the 4-hour bar. Let's zoom in now to see what's going on closer. As we get closer, it's pulled back and then blasted higher again. Let's watch these histograms as we get into the closer time frame. So it did cross over as we're making this little top formation here. So if the on-balance volume is easing off right now as we get into the 15-minute view, then we could be watching for the earliest indicators of an easing off of this little run up right now. It wouldn't be my trade though. I like to go out of this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and should I get an entry that turns profitable and I get in there, then I'm going to put my stop loss just above that and protect that money, and we'll see how the trade plays out after that. It's treated me well enough so far. It's proven me correct right off the beginning, so I can protect myself now and sit back and wait and see what happens. If I hadn't put on a position and I was considering it, then having it come back and retest that number 2 point would be the next step. Let's check out the Ichimoku cloud. It's also just turning bullish on this. It's just gone through the cloud, which is very good. If it comes back and retests these levels and gives us strength while the Ichimoku cloud is green, and we have the conversion line above the baseline, those are all really bullish signals for REQ. I want to go back and take a look at this in a longer term view. We are at historical lows. If you're interested in this project, be sure to click on the links in the description down below. I've got links off to CoinMarketCap for each of these 4 coins, and you can dig in there and check them out. And that wraps it up for this video, where we reviewed AST, DOC, TNT, and REQ. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe so that you get a notification of tomorrow's video when we review the top 4 moving coins on Binance yet again. Thanks for tuning in. This is Doug from digitalcurrencytraders.com. We'll see you in the next video.